Welcome back to my channel. In this video class, I am going to start with multiple choice questions that is related to states of matter. So here we can start with very simple questions first. Very first question. London or dispersion forces are due to the presence of. So you know that London forces will exist between non-polar molecules. Therefore, there will be no polarity initially and they have to induce themselves. So it will be induced momentarily. So that is temporarily. So induced momentary dipoles. It is neither dipole nor ions. Our last option. Then which is that right option? Option C is the right answer. Next question. Dipole-dipole interaction. Energy between stationary polar molecules is proportional to. Here if we consider dipole-dipole interaction energy, that is that interaction energy which in between dipole-dipole molecules, that too in stationary polar molecules, is proportional to r cube, 1 by r cube or 1 by r square we can consider, and other one is r to the power 6. And which is that right option we can consider. Just you remember, whatever that interaction energy that exists between London forces, that is regarding London, or dispersion forces, or dipole-dipole, or dipole-induced dipole, that is directly proportional to 1 by r to the power 6. That is 1 by r to the power 6. That is meant with any type of interactions. That is interaction energy with respect to dipole-dipole, or dipole-induced dipole, or London forces. But here you should be keen observer. Em kodidana question illi. So dipole-dipole interaction energy between, that is between stationary polar molecules, that is most important. So I think it should be r to the power 6. So that is between stationary polar andre which is said to be stabilized. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಸ್ಟೆಬಿಲೈಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅದರ ಅರ್ಥ ಏನು? ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಇನ್ ಸಾಲಿಡ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಗೇಷಿಯಸ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ಇಂಟರಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಆ ಇಂಟರಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್, ಆ ಇಂಟರಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಟು 1 by r to the power 6 ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದು ಸ್ಟೇಷನರಿ ಪೋಲಾರ್ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಸ್ಟೇಷನರಿ ಇಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಇನ್ ವಿಚ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್? ಸಾಲಿಡ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್. ಆಗ ಸಾಲಿಡ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಅಂತ ಏನಾದರೂ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ then you remember it is not 1 by r to the power 6 but it is 1 by r to the power 3. So therefore which is that right option? Option B is the right option. Next question. Which curve does not represent Boy's law? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಗ್ರಾಫ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, 4 ಗ್ರಾಫ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಗ್ರಾಫಿಕಲ್ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಷನ್ ರಾಂಗ್ ಇದೆ, ಸೊ ಅದು ಬಾಯ್ಸ್ ಲಾ ಹೋಲ್ಸ್ ಕೂಡ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ hyperbola. So pressure versus V, you will get hyperbola. This graph will be correct. And log P versus log B, if you consider, you will get this slope downwards, straight line. So you can accept that. And if you consider pressure against V, but here you are going to get the sloping down, but it is not hyperbola, but it is straight line. You won't get straight line, but you will get this graph like this for P against V. Therefore, it is wrong. So therefore, which is not representing Boy's law, that is option C. If we go for D, PV against P is also right answer. So that is, it also correct representation. Therefore, which is that relevant or right option? Which curve does not represent Boy's law means that is option C. Next. Which among the following exerts greater pressure when equal weights are taken at the same temperature and pressure in a container of given volume? ಅಂದರೆ which among the following exert greater pressure. ಈಗ ಒಂದು ಕಂಟೈನರ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಆ ಕಂಟೈನರಲ್ಲಿ ಸೊ ನೀವು ಒಂದು ಸೇಮ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಇದೆ, ಸೇಮ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಕಂಟೈನರ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಫಿಲ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕಂಟೈನರ್ with this volume with oxygen, you can fill the similar volume container with nitrogen and similar type of container with chlorine, another similar type of container with sulfur dioxide. But here what it is very important, which among the following exerts greater pressure when equal weight of, in case if you take 1 gram of oxygen, then 1 gram of nitrogen, 1 gram of chlorine, 1 gram of sulfur dioxide. Like that you have to consider. Equal weight of gases na equal volume container alli now fill ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಹೈಯರ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. So equal volume of gases contain equal number of molecules, as you can consider. Here pressure is directly proportional to n number of molecules. Pressure is directly proportional to n number of molecules, number of moles. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ರಿಲೇಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ? ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೋಲ್ಸ್ಗೆ ರಿಲೇಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಬಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಆರ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಮೋಲ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸಸ್ ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ? ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ವೇಟ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. ಆದರೆ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ವೇಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ, ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ವೇಟ್ ತಗೊಂಡಾಗ ದೇ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಕಂಟೈನ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್. ಅದನ್ನ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ದೇರ್ಫೋರ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಅಮಾಂಗ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್, ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್, ಕ್ಲೋರಿನ್, ಸಲ್ಫರ್ ಡೈಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಮಾಸ್. We can consider, so the one which has got a lesser molecular mass will be having more number, isn't it? ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲಕ್ಕೂ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ವೇಟ್ ತಗೊಂಡಾಗ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಮಾಸ್ ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್, ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್, ಕ್ಲೋರಿನ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಸಲ್ಫರ್ ಡೈಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ತಗೊಂಡಾಗ ಸಲ್ಫರ್ ಡೈಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ಗೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿನೇ ಇದೆ, ಎಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಪ್ರೆಷರು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. So here if you compare this oxygen, nitrogen and chlorine. So oxygen, so it is atomic number 8, it is 7, it is 17. But you should not consider atomic number, that is atomic mass value. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಇವ ಮೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಟಾಮಿಕ್ ಮಾಸ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಮಾಸು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Therefore we can consider nitrogen has got least molecular mass when compared to chlorine and oxygen. ಸೊ ಸಲ್ಫರ್ ಡೈಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲೋರಿನ್, ಕ್ಲೋರಿನ್ಗಿಂತ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಮಾಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್, ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ಗಿಂತ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್. ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಮಾಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ಸು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ದೇರ್ಫೋರ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ವೇಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸಸ್ನ ನಾವು ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೆಷರು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ದೇರ್ಫೋರ್ ದಟ್ ರೈಟ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ nitrogen. So among these, if the nitrogen gas is filled with this container, then pressure exerted is more when compared to other gases. Next question. Vapor density corresponds to dash liter of gas at STP. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದು ವೇಪರ್ ಡೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ. ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ವೇಪರ್ ಡೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಯು ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್ ಅಟ್ STP it occupies first option, that is 11.2 liters of gas, that is at standard conditions of temperature and pressure. And the next question, if Avogadro number is n and gas constant is r, then Boltzmann constant is equal to, I have already given the information in synopsis itself. So that Boltzmann constant is the ratio of Avogadro number, that is ratio of gas constant divided by Avogadro number. Therefore it is not n by r, it should be r by n. So option 2 is the right answer. Okay, always you remember Boltzmann constant is equal to r, capital R, that is gas constant, divided by n, that is Avogadro number. And one more question. A mixture of three gases X, density 0.9, and Y, density 0.178, and another gas Z, density 0.42, is enclosed in a vessel at constant temperature. When the equilibrium is established, the gas X, so we are going to add that is we are going to add three gases. Which are those gases? Gas X, gas Y, another one is gas Z. Here first you fill up gas X, then you fill Y, then gas Z, then close the container, close this lid and leave it for some time so that it can attain equilibrium. ಈಗ ಈಕ್ವಿಲಿಬ್ರಿಯಂ ಅಟೈನ್ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಸರ್ಟೆನ್ ಡ್ಯೂರೇಷನ್ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ಈ ತ್ರೀ ಗ್ಯಾಸಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಸ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಟೈನಿಂಗ್ ಈಕ್ವಿಲಿಬ್ರಿಯಂ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ತ್ರೀ ಗ್ಯಾಸಸ್ X, Y, Z ಈಸ್ ಎನ್ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ಎ ವೆಸಲ್ ಅಟ್ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್. ಅಂದರೆ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ನ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಆ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವೆನ್ ದ ಈಕ್ವಿಲಿಬ್ರಿಯಂ ಈಸ್ ಎಸ್ಟಾಬ್ಲಿಷ್ಡ್, the gas X will be on the top. Next B, the gas Y will be on the top of the vessel. Or C, gas Z will be on the top of the vessel. And lastly, gaseous mixture, that is gases mix homogeneously throughout the vessel, which is possible. So here the gases, you know that they are free from the gravitational forces. Therefore, here there is no chance either to X get settled down at top, or Y should get settled at the top, or Z should settle at the top. The next question. The correct mathematical equation for Graham's law at constant temperature and pressure. So first relationship, R1 by R2 is square root of M1 by M2. R is proportional to 1 by square root of vapor density. Third one, R1 by R2 is equal to square root of M2 by M1. And R1 by R2 is equal to square root of D2 and D1. So according to the Graham's law of diffusion, we can relate the rate of diffusion to their molecular mass, vapor density, as well as density. But how they are related? So as you know, here we can consider, so R1 by R2 is equal to square root of M1 by M2. We cannot accept this because whenever there is R1, so it should be in the denominator, not numerator. So that is R1 is proportional to square root of 1 by M1 we can consider. Therefore, here another expression, R1 by R2 is equal to square root of M2 by M1. We can accept this because rate of diffusion is equal to square root of 1 by M1. Therefore, if you relate R1 and R2, so it is R1 means it should be M2. It is R2 means it should be M1. Therefore, we can't accept this first one. It is R is proportional to 1 by square root of vapor density. We can accept this also because rate of diffusion is inversely proportional to root of vapor density. And last one more expression, R1 by R2 is also related with density. So rate is proportional to square root of 1 by density. Therefore, if you relate two such rates R1 by R2, they are related as R1 by R2 is equal to square root of D2 by D1. In place of M2, there is D2. In place of M1, there is D1. Therefore, we can accept these three except the first one. So, among these four options, which is the right option? 3, 4, option A, then option B, 1, 2, option C, 2, 3, 4, and option D, 2, 4. So, option C, we can accept second equation, third equation, as well as fourth equation. Therefore, option C is the right answer. Next question. Which gas cannot be collected over water? So, which gas cannot be collected over water means whatever the gas we can collect. So, if it is a content, that is water trough, we can say that gas is collected over water means, so whatever that gas is coming out, it is collected over the water. If it is water, then here we can consider, here the gas will be filled here. So gas will be filled here, collected over water. So that is the meaning. Which gas cannot be collected over water? So if you pass carbon monoxide, it can collected over water, above water. So nitrogen can be collected over water. Hydrogen can be collected over water because they are not miscible with water. They are not getting soluble in water. But ammonia, once you pass ammonia, but ammonia is easily soluble in water. We cannot collect that ammonia over water. So therefore, which gas cannot be collected over water? That is option A, that is ammonia. Next, which of the following is not a statement of kinetic theory of gases? So there are different postulates as we have learned regarding kinetic theory of gases. Which of the following is not a statement is asking. First one, the kinetic energy depends upon the temperature of the gas. As you know, kinetic energy of gases is directly proportional to absolute temperature. We can accept this. The kinetic energy depends upon the pressure of a gas. We can't accept this because kinetic energy depends only on temperature but not on the pressure. Therefore, this is the wrong statement, not a correct statement. So, option B is the right answer. Statement is wrong but right answer, option B. If you go through these two remaining, option C, the collisions are elastic. Yes, definitely they are elastic in nature. Then, the pressure of gas is due to collision of gas molecules on the walls of the container. That is also true. Therefore, which is that wrong statement? It is given option B. So, option B is the right answer. Next question. At OK, not OK, it is at 0 degree Kelvin, which is false statement. So we have to select the false statement among these four. Molecular motion ceases. 0 Kelvin. We can convert degrees into Kelvin scale and Kelvin into degree scale. If you want to convert degrees into Kelvin, you will add 273. If you convert Kelvin into degrees, you subtract 273. So minus 273, isn't it? So we can say that when you convert the degrees into Kelvin, we have to add what? That is degree Celsius can be converted into Kelvin scale by adding 273. Whereas Kelvin scale can be converted into degree Celsius by subtracting 273. So here you can consider at 0 Kelvin, exactly at 0 Kelvin, which are the statements it obeys? Molecular motion ceases. Definitely it is not at 0 degrees Celsius, but it is at 0 Kelvin. That is lesser than 0 degree Celsius we can consider. And here we can say that at 0 Kelvin, exactly we can say that molecular motion ceases. Yes, we can accept this. There will be no movement for the molecules. Then the volume of an ideal gas becomes 0. Definitely volume will become nil, almost nil, that is equal to 0. Then the kinetic energy of molecules becomes 0. Absolutely, if there is no movement, then kinetic energy of the molecule will also become 0. And last statement, the electronic motion ceases. No way. Each and every atom consisting of more and more number of electrons you can consider. And here we can guess there is no restriction for the movement of the electrons when the temperature is at 0 Kelvin. There is only restriction for the movement of the molecules, and volume will get reduced to nil, but electrons will be keep on moving as usual even at very low temperature. Therefore, we can't accept this statement. Therefore, option D is the right answer. Got it? Then we can say that next question, a closed flask contains water in all its three states, solid, liquid and vapor state at 0 degrees Celsius. In this, the average kinetic energy of water molecules will be: first option, greatest in the vapor state; second option, same in all the three states; third option, greatest in the solid state; fourth option, greater in the liquid than in the vapor state. You just remember, for any state, that kinetic energy, average kinetic energy is related to temperature. Not the state of this gas. Therefore, here, since all these molecules, that is solid state or liquid state or vapor state, they are maintaining at same temperature, that is at 0 degrees Celsius, then we can say that, or degrees Celsius, we can say one constant temperature, at one constant temperature, kinetic energy is proportional to temperature. Therefore, there is no change in its kinetic energy, either it is solid or liquid or gas. Then what you can accept? Same in all the three states, because all are kept in the same temperature. Therefore, it is kinetic energy, average kinetic energy is same for all the solid, liquid or the gaseous state molecules. Problem question. So here, a gas mixture contains nitrogen and methane in the ratio of 7:4. The ratio by weight. That ratio it is by weight. The ratio of their molecules is, they have given the ratio of these two gases by their weight, but they are asking for the ratio of their molecules. Then how we can apply that? So you know that number of moles, N is equal to mass by molecular mass or weight by molecular weight. So here we can apply the same formula with respect to nitrogen and methane. ಯಾವುದೇ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ಗ್ಯಾಸಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ ರೇಷಿಯೋ ಫಾರ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಕಂಪ್ಯಾರಿಸನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಈಗ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಮೇಲೆ ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಬೈ ಮೀಥೇನ್ ಅಂತ ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡಾಗ ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ದು ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೋಲ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ವೇಟ್ ಬೈ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ವೇಟ್. ಸೊ ವೇಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, ರೇಷಿಯೋ ಫಾರ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ ಇದು 7 ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡಾಗ ಡಿವೈಡೆಡ್ ಬೈ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ವೇಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್, ಯು ನೋ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ 28. ಸೊ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ವೇಟ್ ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ದು ಅಟಾಮಿಕ್ ಮಾಸ್ 14 ಬರುತ್ತೆ, 14 2 28 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಗೋ ಫಾರ್ ಮೀಥೇನ್ದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ರೇಷಿಯೋ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ವೇಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ 4 ಇದೆ ಡಿವೈಡೆಡ್ ಬೈ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಮಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೀಥೇನ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬರುತ್ತೆ 16 ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ 1 into 4 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ 12 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ದೇರ್ಫೋರ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ 16. ಈಗ ಇದನ್ನು ಸಿಂಪ್ಲಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ 7/28 ಇಂಟು ಈಗ ಡಿನಾಮಿನೇಟರ್ ಇರೋದು ನ್ಯೂಮರೇಟರ್ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ನ್ಯೂಮರೇಟರ್ ಇರೋದು ಡಿನಾಮಿನೇಟರಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಸೊ 7/28 ಇಂಟು 16/4. ಸೊ ಈಗ ಏನಾಯಿತು ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಈಸಿಲಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸಲ್ 4 4s are 16 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಗೇನ್ 4 7s are 28 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ 7/7 is equal to 1. ಇದನ್ನು ಸಿಂಪ್ಲಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ 1 ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 1 ಇದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಏನಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ 1 ಇದೆ ಅಂತಲೇ ಅರ್ಥ. ದೇರ್ಫೋರ್ ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಬೈ ಮೀಥೇನ್ is equal to 1:1. That ratio for the number of molecules of nitrogen and methane is 1:1. Got it? Therefore, which is that right option? Option 3 is the right answer. And next, if we consider the density of carbon dioxide gas at 27 degrees Celsius and 1 atmospheric pressure is dash grams per liter. Here we can apply. So you know that ideal gas equation PV is equal to nRT. ಈ expression ಇಂದ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಡೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ರಿಲೇಶನ್ಶಿಪ್ ತಗೋಬಹುದು. ಸೊ ಅಗೇನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಷನ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಡೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು PM ಡಿವೈಡೆಡ್ ಬೈ RT ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಈಗ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ 1 atmosphere ಇಂಟು ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಮಾಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ವಿಚ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಡೈಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 44 ಇದೆ. ಸೊ 44 ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಡೈಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಮಾಸ್ 44. ಸೊ 1 into 44 ಡಿವೈಡೆಡ್ ಬೈ ಆರ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಟ್ಮಾಸ್ಫಿಯರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ 8.314 ಬರಲ್ಲ 0.0821 ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಅಟ್ಮಾಸ್ಫಿಯರ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ 0.0821 ಅಂತ ಆರ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಬರ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ವಾಟ್ ಇಟ್. ಸೊ ಅದೇ ನ್ಯೂಟನ್ ಪರ್ ಮೀಟರ್ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಅಥವಾ ಪ್ಯಾಸ್ಕಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ 8.314 ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಆ ಪ್ಲೇಸಲ್ಲಿ ಆರ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಮಚ್ ಕೇರ್ಫುಲ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಫಾರ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್. ಈಗ 0.0821 ಇಂಟು ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್. ಸೊ 27 ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಸೆಲ್ಸಿಯಸ್ ಅದನ್ನು ಕೆಲ್ವಿನ್ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ 27 ಪ್ಲಸ್ 273 ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬರುತ್ತೆ 300 ಕೆಲ್ವಿನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. 300 ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನು ಸಿಂಪ್ಲಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇವೆರಡು ಮಲ್ಟಿಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ 24.63 ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇವೆರಡನ್ನು ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ 1.78 ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದೇರ್ಫೋರ್ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ದಟ್ ರೈಟ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್? That is option 1 is the right answer. Let us go for next question. Hydrogen gas diffuses 6 times faster than a gas X. The molecular weight of X is. Here in this problem it is giving relationship with respect to rate of diffusion with respect to the molecular weight. So we can relate that as two gases R1 by R2 is equal to square root of M2 by M1 because R is equal to 1 by square root of M1. Therefore, R1 by R2 is this the correct expression. Rate of diffusion with respect to one and second gas. So, hydrogen gas is the first gas. It is 6 times faster. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 6/1 ಅಂತ ಬರ್ಕೋಬಹುದು. So, rate of diffusion second gas 1 time ಆದರೆ ಇದು 6 times faster ಅಂದರೆ hydrogen 6. It is equal to square root of M2 value ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. Molecular weight find out ಮಾಡಬೇಕು X divided by what is the molecular mass of hydrogen? It is 2, you know that. ಈಗ ನಮಗೆ ಬೇಕಿರೋದು M2. ಈಗ ಎರಡೂ ಕಡೆ ನಾವು ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ ಬೋತ್ ಸೈಡ್ಸ್ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ 6/1 ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ is equal to square root of M2 by 2 whole square. ಈಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಯಿತು ರೂಟ್ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ರೂಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸಲ್ಡ್. Therefore 6 square is equal to 36 by 1 is equal to M2 by 2. So 36 2s are 72. Therefore M2 is equal to 72. So right option is option B. Next problem. A sample of air contains nitrogen, oxygen and saturated with water vapor under a total pressure of 640 mm. ಈಗ total pressure 640 ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಯಾಚುರೇಟೆಡ್ ವಿತ್ ವಾಟರ್ ವೇಪರ್ ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ aqueous tension ಎಷ್ಟು? If the vapor pressure of the water at that temperature is 40 mm, ಇದೆ aqueous tension. Vapor pressure of water itself is aqueous tension. And molecular mass ratio ಎಷ್ಟು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ? molecular mass ratio nitrogen and oxygen it is 3:1. And what he is asking? The partial pressure of nitrogen. In this case, so ಈ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಏನು ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ಪಾರ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್. You know the relationship with respect to pressure of dry gas with moist gas. So pressure of dry gas is equal to pressure of moist gas minus aqueous tension. So total pressure 640 minus aqueous tension ಅಂದ್ರೆ water vapor pressure ಎಷ್ಟು 40. 40 is equal to 600 ಬಂತು. ಸೊ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಆಫ್ ಡ್ರೈ ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು. ಈಗ ಪಾರ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಆಫ್ ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದಟ್ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ? Partial pressure is equal to mole fraction into total pressure. We want to calculate partial pressure of nitrogen, that is equal to mole fraction of nitrogen. Mole fraction is nothing but number of moles of nitrogen divided by total number of moles. Number of moles of nitrogen is there 3 divided by total number of moles ಅಂದ್ರೆ 3 plus 1, it is equal to 4 into total pressure what we found here 600. ಈಗ ಇದನ್ನ ಸಿಂಪ್ಲಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಫೈನಲ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಏನು ಬರುತ್ತೆ? 6 3s are 18, 0 0, 1800 by 4 is equal to 450 mm. So which is that right option? Option C is the right answer. And here we go for next question. If 1000 ml of a gas A at 600 torr and 500 ml of gas B at 800 torr. Torr means that is the unit of pressure, are mixed in a 2 liter flask. The pressure of the mixture will be, 2 gases na ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಒಂದು ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಎ ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಬಿ, ಎರಡು ಗ್ಯಾಸಸ್ದು ಏನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ? ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಮತ್ತು ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ 1000 ml ಆಫ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸ್, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು 500 ml. ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಕೂಡ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಟೋಟಲ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದಾಗ ಯು ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಷನ್ P is equal to P1 V1 plus P2 V2 divided by total volume. What is the total volume? We have taken that the measurement flask is 2 liter. So 2 liter means 2000 ml. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಇದು ಎಮ್ ಎಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಲೀಟ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೆಯೋಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಎಮ್ ಎಲ್ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ 2 liter is equal to 2000 ml. So that is the measurement of total volume. ಈಗ pressure of first gas A 600 torr into 1000 ml and pressure of, let me write this pressure, P2 800 into what is that volume? V2, that is 500 divided by 2000, because total volume is 2000. If you simplify this, you are going to get the final answer as 500. Therefore, which is that right answer? You can get that option A is the right answer. 500 torr is the total pressure. Next question. RMS with regard to root mean square velocity. RMS velocity of oxygen at 15 degrees Celsius is directly asking to calculate root mean square velocity of oxygen at what temperature? 15 degrees Celsius. There is relationship with respect to temperature, molecular mass with respect to RMS velocity. So RMS velocity is given as C is equal to square root of 3 RT by capital M. 3 into R value you remember. So with respect to this here degree Celsius, we can consider it is given as option centimeter per second. In that case, you remember for R value, you are supposed to write the value as 8.314 into 10 power 7. And if you substitute this value, temperature 15 degrees Celsius is equal to 15 degrees Celsius is equal to 15 plus 273 is equal to 288 Kelvin. So we can substitute that value in Kelvin divided by molecular weight of, which is that gas they have given, oxygen. So oxygen weight is 16 twos are 32. Therefore, by simplifying this, you are finally going to get this answer, that is 4.5 into 10 power 4 centimeter per second. So 4.5 into 10 power 4 centimeter per second. Therefore, option B is the right answer. Here we go for last set of questions. 4 1 liter flasks are separately filled with the gases hydrogen, helium, oxygen, ozone at the same temperature and pressure. The ratio of the weights of these gases is 4 different containers but same volume. Importantly, they are maintained with same temperature and pressure. Then we can just relate them with respect to their molecular mass values. Therefore, we can take this ratio in the form of their molecular mass values. Molecular mass of hydrogen 2, helium 4, oxygen 32 and ozone it is 48. So we can take that ratio in the simple form. On simplification of this ratio, you will get 1:2:16:24. Therefore, option C is the right answer. Next, a steel vessel of capacity 22.4 liter contains 2 grams of hydrogen, 8 grams of oxygen, 22 grams of carbon dioxide at 0 degrees Celsius. temperature. The total pressure of the mixture is. We should find the total pressure, and they have mentioned the weight of the different gases with respect to their mass also. Therefore, we can write that relationship as PV is equal to nRT. So here we have to find total pressure. P is equal to nRT by V. You should find total number of moles. Total number of moles is equal to number of moles of three gases. So firstly, number of moles is equal to mass by molecular mass, you know that. So here N is equal to mass by molecular mass. Mass by molecular mass. What is the mass value for N1? N1 means it is with respect to 2 grams of hydrogen. For hydrogen gas, what is the mass? 2 grams divided by molecular mass 2. Next, for oxygen, mass is 8 gram. Molecular mass is 32. Next gas, carbon dioxide. Molecular mass is 22 and molecular mass is 44. And by simplifying this, you will get total number of moles is 1.75. Now you substitute the values. P is equal to 1.75 into R value. Here they have mentioned in terms of atmosphere means total pressure, then that R value should be having 0.0821 into 273 because it is 0 degrees Celsius. 0 degrees Celsius is equal to 273 Kelvin. Therefore, 273 divided by what is that volume of the container? 22.4. On simplifying these values, you will get 1.75 atmosphere. Therefore, option C is the right answer. Next question, the relationship between critical pressure, critical volume and critical temperature. We can relate these three with one of the following expression, which is that correct expression. That is option C. P into PC into VC is equal to 3 by 8 RTC. You remember this expression. Now, next question. The values of van der Waals constants A for the oxygen, nitrogen, ammonia, methane are 1.36, 1.39, 4.17 and 2.25 d m to the power 6 atmosphere mole to the power minus 2. The gas which can be most easily liquefied is higher the, you just remember, higher the constant A value, more easy will be the liquefaction. So which has got higher A constant A value 1.3, 1.3, 9, 4.1 and it is 2.2. So 4.170 is the highest number. Therefore, higher A value which has got higher A value oxygen, nitrogen and ammonia and methane respectively means it is with respect to ammonia. Therefore, we can consider ammonia with higher A value can be easily liquefied compared to other three. Option 3 is the right answer. Next, the compression factor of a gas is more than unity at STP. Its value of Vm is. In case if you get compressibility factor value more than unity at STP, at standard temperature and pressure, then here they have mentioned Vm is greater than 22.4, lesser than 22.4, equal to 22.4 and depends on molecular mass value. Since it is given at standard temperature and pressure and temperature are constant and R is also constant, Z is directly proportional to Vm. Therefore, it should be greater than 22.4 dm3. Option 1 is the, A is the right answer. Last question. Under which conditions do real gas act as ideal gas? As you know that for any real gas which should be acting as ideal gas, the gaseous molecules should be far away from each other. At what conditions it is possible? So if we consider the temperature and pressure, gaseous molecules are far away means at higher temperature. And pressure should be very low. Therefore, among these four options, which is the right option? Low temperature, high pressure. No. High pressure and high pressure. That is high pressure, high temperature and high pressure. No. High temperature and low pressure. Option C is the right answer. So you can still work out many more problems as well as different questions from this chapter. Keep practicing.